I had to stop that singing then before.
I was going to say, Dave, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, this is on every live. We do have to check that we're live, even though technically we know it's worked every other time.
Yeah.
As you say, Dave.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you watch it, just give us a sec. We're just going to check we're live. Ooh, okay, awesome. I think we are, mate. All good.
Nice.
I will keep that open just so we can any questions that come through. So yeah, hey guys, Andy here and Dave.
Hello.
On another Tuesday tune-in. Can't believe this is I think it's our 12th week, Dave.
Is it? No way.
Mad. Yeah.
12 tune-ins.
It's our 12th one, yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Can't believe it. Crazy.
Feels like 11 max.
Well, I say 12. We did 3 in 1 week once. So
yeah.
But yeah, hey guys, yeah, thanks for joining us. Another Tuesday tune-in where we discuss, all the different questions that we've got over the last sort of several days, really. Today, we always like to pick a theme. If you've watched any of our lives before, we always like to pick a little theme to talk about.
Yeah.
Today is called the good, the bag, and the ugly. Yes, basically, the last couple of weeks we talked about sleeping bags, we talked about boots, lots of other things, around specific trips like Machu Picchu, Kili. We've talked about it all really, but we do get a lot of questions around bags, don't we, Dave? The different types of bags, weight, volume.
Well, I mean, it's because you only got to go into like Cotswold Outdoors and have a look at the range of bags they got to see the scale of the problem. And they all say different things about what you need, what you don't. And we often give out like kit lists and we talk about kit as a whole. But I think it is really good to sort of drill down into individual items so people can get a really good understanding of what they got. Bags, my favorite things, probably second to boots, really. Boots, then bags. I mean, I've got like just 3 here, which you can't see off camera, but 3 of about 9, I think, that I've tried throughout the years. But it's getting a good bag is important. We've got hey Paula, hey Paul, hey Ian, hey John. John's back on. John from Brecon.
John's back on. He can't help it, can he? He's always on there.
And it might be something to do with the fact that I usually text him before and say, "You ready?" But
great to see everyone on.
But weirdly, the bags are a good one because John's a classic example of struggling to sort of land on a bag that works for him. I think I gave him one of the old, it was not an old, a Camelback that I had. And I think that's been all right for him. But up until now, he's used one of the bags he used on the first time he went to base camp was terrible. It was like all falling apart at the seams and everything.
I know, yeah. It's kind of, hey, everyone, for just join us. Lee, Sheila, Pablo, Asha. Yeah, great to see you guys on here and Liv. Always nice. Any questions, guys? Our social Yeti Lauren's on the comments and things, so definitely post your questions if you want us to take on. If you watched the lives before, we talk a little bit about the subject. Like obviously we'll talk about bags first. Yeah, we'll answer the questions as we go. But yeah, bags are super important. I mean, you're right. You mentioned about John there and taking sort of like a beaten up bag the first time he went. Yeah, I think the first time I went to base camp, mine was it was only like a 20-liter Berghaus bag, and it didn't really have any support. It was, it was really, basic. And it goes to show. I mean, if you're into your trekking, and you're into your gear, and you get excited by that, if going to go outdoors is like walking into a sweet shop, then you'll probably have a decent bag. Yeah, decent back support. But it goes to show that you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money on a bag. You could buy one for £20, and it could do the job. We'll talk about some here that will go into 90, 100, 110. They do get quite pricey as you go up in size, you go up in quality, but you don't have to buy these bags. They're just ones we like to talk about, and it's all about finding one that's comfortable, that's got enough space for the things you need. We do a big thing that crops up is that people think you need to carry loads of things, but at altitude you want to make life as easier as you can for yourself. Yeah, which is why we always have local support, to carry your bags. But basically, when it comes to your day pack, you don't really need it that heavy, do you, Dave? It's you keep it relatively,
I try and stick to around 25 liters, to be honest with you. Now, a lot of people go 30 liters or 35. I know you're a fan of like a 35, 45 even. Yeah, but if you're a little bit like me, now if I've got 40 liters, I'll put 40 liters of stuff in it. You know, it's just natural. You know, it's like I used to have a car and I fill it and it was fine. And now I've got a van, more stuff's being put in it, you know.
You fill into your space.
Exactly, yeah. So, you know, I'm quite conscious. I don't want to carry too much weight all day.
Yeah.
You know, like if I could get away without carrying a bag, I would. I like the freedom of it. But yeah, you've got to carry a bag. So I tend to stick to around 25, 30 liters maximum.
Yeah.
And I've done base camp multiple times. I've done Kilimanjaro, and I've never needed more space. You know, so you just need to. It's difficult because it comes with experience, but knowing what to put in that day pack is a little bit tricky. But what I tell people is it's tricky because people overthink it. You know, they think about the Himalaya and what they might need, and then they second guess what they're going to experience. But if you've been trekking in the UK, you know what to bring in a day pack. You know, you're going to need snacks, you're going to need a windbreaker, you might even need a waterproof or something like that, and your water, and that's pretty much it day to day.
Yeah, bang on, isn't it? You don't really need too much. I mean, you know, on any trek, I mean, it depends where you're going. You know, if you're going to Everest or Kilimanjaro, even if it's Machu Picchu, you know, there's going to be a few staple things that you need. You know, you've got your water, you've got your snacks, you've maybe got like a little poncho that you can throw on if needed. But you don't need to fill your bag with everything. You want to put that, you want to put that in your duffel bag or your backpack.
Yeah.
Jen was saying if women spoke about handbags in this way. Very good, Jen. Well, I'm sure they do, right? I don't know. I've never really talked about bags in the way other than what we do here. But yeah, you got a very good point. Before we do go into it, though, I mean, there's a little bit of an announcement today on this live. Basically, it's around, you know, if we've been a part of the community, we like to run, you know, some sort of free trips. We've been doing it over the last couple of years, and we've, you know, some of the people that have come with us, you know, people like Kate, Barry, who we've had the pleasure of, Darren, not Barry was his friend, who've come with us, who've won some of our free trips. Well, we've got another little competition coming up, so we'll chat about it towards the end. But I just want to drop that in there. That we're going to be sort of announcing another competition today, so do stick around. Yeah, David Stevens. Yeah, thanks for joining us, David. Just want to answer your question first because, you know, it's great that that's the first question that gets asked. It shows obviously our community that cares about our guides. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's a challenge for them at the moment because, you know, and sorry, I will bring this on so it's not blind. So David asked about how the Sherpas are holding up. Yeah, the Sherpas are the guides, the staff. Yeah, it is tough at the moment because of the, you know, the situation. Like obviously that the season was 90% a no-go. We were lucky to get 2 groups out, half groups out really, you know, in March, and we actually had one in February, which was a private group who went out early. Lucky enough, some guys from South Wales. But yeah, the guides have had a tough time, but you know, they're looking forward to the autumn because autumn season. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're in June already. Feels like yesterday that we were. It was, you know, we just come back from Killy the end of Feb. Yeah, and now we're halfway through the year. But the guides are doing well. I mean, they're battling on. We were lucky that midway through March, going into April, we did set up a little GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
We sent the, you know, we raised, I think it was about $4,500 in the end. In total, that was from the EverTrek community, some donations, some private donations as well. You know, so we were able to send some money out to Nepal because Nepal is where we've been over the last couple of years. We've obviously released a lot of new trips over the last like 6 months, but Nepal, you know, is where our heart is. You know, that's what we're known for. You know, taking people to Everest Base Camp, you know, and the peaks around there. Yeah. And yeah, so we sent the money over, and it's being divvied up basically amongst the guides. We're still waiting for confirmation from our ops manager over there, Anuj, in terms of the exactly how, but mainly it's gone to all the EverTrek guides.
Yeah,
and the staff. You know, you're talking people that pick you up from the airport, the people that do the briefings. You know, your guides. You know, who take you. Your assistant guides, even some of the more experienced porters. So we wanted to help as many people as we can. Although it's actually quite challenging because a lot of our staff actually live in the mountains, so they disappear. And you know, especially during the off season, and you know, it's difficult to track them. Whereas the guides that live in Kathmandu, who have got homes to pay for, who have got, you know, Kathmandu is obviously expensive to live, so we've tried to, you know, spread that money around as evenly, as fairly as possible, but we've tried to help them as much as we can. So yeah, no, I really appreciate that question, David. And you know, they're strong individuals, and I know they've been through what they would say worse things in the past. You know, and they've come through it fine. It's all about now the autumn for us, and taking it on with a vengeance. You know, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
get out there. All's going well at the moment. But yeah, thanks for answering that question. Sorry, asking that question, Dave. Right, let's crack on with bags then. Sorry, I had to put that on there. My duffel bag.
No, yeah, when he showed me that bag, I was like, yeah, great. What are you going to do? Carry your laundry in it? Yeah, luckily we that one thing we do say about duffel bags is on our Nepalese trips, we are able to give everyone that books onto those a free EverTrek duffel bag. It's an 80-litre water-resistant, durable fabric duffel bag. That's yours to put all your stuff in. It's the bag your porter carries, and at the end of the trip,
you mean this one, Dave?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one, mate. That's the one.
Using this bag.
Yeah, and yeah, it's yours to take home with you afterwards as well, which is great. One thing I did remember as well, I know up until the end of today, Cotswold Outdoors have like up to a 50% sale on a lot of different items, and I know they got bags and duffel bags and all sorts of stuff in there. So
yeah,
if any of you are ready to go or ready to upgrade, and this helps you, then yeah, get over there and do some shopping. Yeah, I mean, I suppose just to kick things off. So
yes,
the first bag that I got 3 here. This is the one I just used in February to go up Kilimanjaro with.
Yeah.
So this is the Osprey Stratos 26-litre.
Okay.
Really good bag, as you can see. It's got like the air zone in the back. It's really supportive.
Yeah.
I put a 2-litre water bladder in there, and it's got like gear loops for your poles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Perfect, I think. Absolutely perfect. Like I said, it is a 26-litre, so it's not the biggest bag in the world. You're not going to be able to fit a lot of stuff in there, but I carried like a down jacket, waterproof, all the water I needed, all the snacks. It all fitted in there, and it's got nice little pockets and everywhere all around it. So. What's that?
The weight of it is quite light, right?
Yeah, this is a real light bag. Yeah, this weighs next to nothing. At the moment, it has got a little bit of it's got some water left in there, so I've got to clean that. That might even be Kilimanjaro water. So yeah, probably not going to try it. But yeah, no, honestly, this is a great bag. I actually I think it was one of our EverTrekkers, Tom, had that bag.
Yeah.
And then when I met him, I was using like a 40-litre one, just because it was the only one I had. But again, I found like I overfilled it.
Yeah.
But again, I would say Osprey is probably the most well-known make that you'll see.
Yeah.
And you've got, so that's the Talon, 33, 30?
No, this is because it's mad, right? I just saw your bag there, and I know obviously I've seen that up close. And this is actually the 44, it's the Talon 44. You think it'd be a lot bigger. But the Osprey, they're all quite compact. So I'll bring this in the camera actually so you can see it. So this is the Talon 44. I know it looks bigger, but really when you put it on, it's very similar weight to yours, Dave.
Yeah.
I do tend to carry a bit more. Just some basic things, but in terms of weight, I do tend to carry a bit more, don't I, Dave? Like, I do carry the first aid kit.
Well, John has mentioned that one time you carried a laptop.
Yeah, you know what? That was bad. But that was, because I was doing some travel writing at the time, and I had to carry like a 2.5 kg laptop, and I actually carried it all the way to base camp. Although, unfortunately, some of the screen got a bit. Damaged.
But was it Helen Barker said, did the water freeze in the bladder? I've had that twice.
Yeah.
So when I summit day on Kili, it froze solid. So like the bottle turned into a block of ice. All the water froze. It was just totally frozen. But luckily, our guides bring a flask of hot water in an insulated bottle. You can get like insulated tubes, but even one of the girls that had an insulated tube, it still froze because it was so cold. And I had it once on my way to base camp. One time when we left Le Boucher for the first hour of the day trekking, when it was really cold, everything was frozen in there. So that made a bit of a difference. With the bag I'm using at the moment, one thing I should say actually, just to jump back to the Ospreys. If you tend to buy the smaller bags like this, they tend to not be as adjustable. So this back panel, quite often on the larger bags, you can move up and move down.
Yeah, I think I'll double check. I think you can on this one. Yeah, because they do. Yeah, you can look. So not that I have on this one, but you can actually adjust. Yeah, you can actually adjust bits around here that will.
Yeah. Well, this one you could adjust these bits here to pull this like up or down.
Yeah.
But the back panel stays pretty much where it is.
Yeah.
Now, some people obviously will put it on and they'll want like infinite adjustability. I actually don't, because I tend to fuss with it too much and I can never get it right. You put this on, it is what it is, and you're just used to it. So one thing I can show you is, so this is the other one. See, so this is the other bag that I've used.
Yeah, nice.
Low Alpine. This is actually designed for more climbing. So that there is for like crampons or a helmet or something like that. I actually prefer the ones for trekking that have like the full pocket in, you know, to stow stuff. But if you look at the back of this one, as you can see there, that there is an adjuster. So this moves up and down. I love low Alpine bags though. I love them so much. I recently just bought.
You got another one?
I got another one, yeah.
I'm very old, battered low Alpine. This has done base camp quite a few times. But it's done a lot of UK stuff, as you can see.
That's the good one. That's the other one that I have, which I don't have with me. The Trek Airzone Trek, isn't it?
That's it. The Airzone. Yes, very good. Adjustable, as you said, Dave, on the back here.
Yeah,
so you can move it up and down. But I think the big one for this, this is actually quite big. But I carried a tent with me in this one when I was doing some camping in the UK.
Yeah.
So you can, it gets to a certain size. You're talking 45 to 55 litre there.
Yeah.
When you're thinking Everest Base Camp and Kilimanjaro, Machu Picchu, that's probably a bit overkill, really.
Yeah.
I had to use that on base camp, and I only took it because I got the bag.
Yeah.
But from our recommendations, I think you're right, Dave. Anything like 25 to 35 is kind of the hot zone, isn't it? That's what you aim for.
Well, look at it. Anthony Davis just asked, what size would you recommend for a day bag? 50 or 80 litres. 50 litres is even really too excessive. You want to think 25 to 35 would be your ideal. Like I said, this is now my new go-to pack that I use. It's the Low Alpine. This is a 30-litre Airzone.
Nice.
Was it the Z30 or something like Z Dual 30?
Yeah.
And like you said, it's designed for pack. So you got this stow there on the back. As you can see, it's not adjustable. It doesn't have the adjuster in the middle. But, you can adjust these up and down. What I love about these, something simple, is the pole attachments. Yeah. So down here, as you can see, that's where the spiky bit of your pole goes.
Yeah, nice. I love that.
Yeah, and it just goes, and then they just go up the side, so you can just stow them in so they're nice and secure. It's a really good pack. And I did notice someone else there said, would you want it to be sort of water bladder compatible?
Yes, it was Trevor, I think. Sorry, Trev. Here we go.
Yeah, so we use there's loads of different types of like water bladder that you can put in your bag, to be honest. I've used the Osprey hydraulics, either a 1.5 or a 2.5 or even a 2. I used to carry a 3 litre, but it's a bit excessive these days. At our guides, we offer refills, during the day and on the trips and stuff, so there's no need to carry the weight. So about 2 litres would be perfect. And definitely you need one, because it's just so much more difficult and cumbersome to carry bottles of water with you. It's all in your pack.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, the weight is distributed nice and evenly across your back. So you're not weighed down on one side. And it's just handy to drink on the go. So it's great.
Especially when you're trying to get your 4 litres a day, your 3-4 litres a day or more. If you're on say Diamox, and all you've got is a bottle. And you've got to keep stopping and getting it out. It's easy just to drink, and we kind of got it down now. We call it, looky, sippy, sippy.
Yeah.
So whenever you stop and you're looking, take a sip of your water, and you get into the rhythm then of doing that every time you stop. You get your water intake.
Essentially, you're like a basking shark, moving slowly, just inhaling water. Helen Barker said, would you use waist straps? Most bags now, almost all trekking bags, I think,
they do
come with waist straps with like lumbar support by here. So this one has This one has them, and the bigger one. They're really important because, again, they help distribute the weight across your back. If you don't have that, or the chest strap, it's just all on the shoulders, and you'll get aches and pains. If it's on the shoulders, it's distributed between the shoulders, across the chest, and on the waist. So yeah, when you're trekking and hiking, it gives you freedom of movement, and you're not going to end up with any like sore back or anything like that.
Yeah, good questions. Some good questions coming through here, guys. And hey, if you've all joined, John, Andrew, Bruce, even Spud's on here.
Sir Edmund Spuddery.
Sir Edmund Spuddery's on here. But yeah, Paul asked a good question. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining us again, mate. I know you've been great over the last few weeks. Day pack count as hand luggage on the flights. Yeah, you know what? Like, there's no point taking another bag that you can use. I mean, when I do go on like European flights, I kind of use this one. I wouldn't. It's not one I trek with, but I love Osprey, by the way. This is like I think it's like 44 litre. I think it's called the Far Point. I use that for my sort of hand luggage, and it can really sort of squeeze down. But when I do go on a trek like Kili or Everest, you go in, let's say via Doha, or you're going via Mumbai or whatever. They're small enough that you can actually use it as your hand luggage. Be careful what you carry in there. You don't want to be carrying obviously your water in there and things like that. But you're allowed to have your bladder as long as there's no water in there. And I usually chuck my laptop in, which is probably why I do have a little bit bigger, just because I know that I always take a laptop with me, just keep in touch and keep on top of things. But generally, if you've got a 25 to 35 litre bag, then most flight companies won't have an issue with that. As long as it's not like 15 kgs. Yeah, you'll get away with it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've taken, every time I go on a trip, my day pack that I use on the hike is always my basically. The only thing I do, because they can be a little bit funny about it, is I'll take the water bladder out and the tube and everything. And I'll just stow that away, only because I've had them stop me before and make me unpack it all and drain tiny dregs of water out of it, so sorry, I got distracted by another question there. What Paul Paul and said, what sort of weight are we carrying on the treks? So not too much. The idea is you don't want to overexert yourself, which is why we say a 50 litre is too excessive. So I mean, you can break it down. So a litre of water weighs 1 kilo. So you'll carry probably a maximum of 3 litres at any one time. So let's call that 3 kilos.
Yeah.
And then maybe another 2.5 to 3 with snacks and stuff like that. But the heaviest your bag will ever be is when you set off in the morning. One good habit to get to drink your water is you fill 3 litres in your bag. That's heavy. You want rid of the weight. There's only one way to get rid of it.
Great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Drink the water.
Motivation to have a light pack.
Exactly, yeah. So my pack usually alternates between next to nothing, like 3 kilos up to about 7. But 7's probably the maximum. I remember Kate Ramsey, who won one of the competitions to base camp, and we were walking up to Dingboche, and she's going so slowly, and I'm looking at her bag, and I can see that it's like this wide, and it's huge. And we're saying to her, how heavy is your bag, Kate? And I just lifted up by the bottom, and I was like, what?
It was too heavy, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was crazy. She had we knew Kenton Cool was in the area, so she had like a book of his in there that just there for him to sign. She went into him. Another book she was reading, and leave the books in your duffel bag, and
keep it light.
Catch up with them at the end.
Make it easy for yourselves. But great question, Phil. And while we're talking of specific treks, and you go into the Everest region and you fly into Lukla, they do sometimes weigh your bags. So the way to get around that is a little bit of a cheat, really, is that just put your heavier stuff in your pockets, or carry it on, just in your hands. They don't weigh that. I know it seems completely ridiculous, but they do weigh, your duffel bag and then your day pack. So at that point, especially because we get nearly 99% of our flights, unless there's any issues, in the morning really early, you can refill your water when you get to when you have some breakfast in Lukla before we set up on the trek. Go filling in, putting 3 litres in the hotel, then getting that weighed, because you can do that when you arrive in Lukla.
Exactly.
Specifically for that part, on our trips.
Yeah, so that follows on nicely from Asher.
Okay.
As a friend doing EBC, is there a recommendation on how much weight to put in the duffel bag?
Yeah.
Well, we don't really have a recommendation, but we have a limit. So your day pack and your duffel bag, both combined, can be no heavier than 15 kilos.
Yeah.
And that's unavoidable, really, because you get weighed before you catch the Lukla flight. But your bags get weighed, you don't. So if you have anything like power banks and stuff like that, or heavy cameras, them on you, so like, I'll probably weigh about 5 kilos heavier than I normally do when I catch the flight, purely because I'll put like the power banks in there and cameras and stuff like that. And then my bags and everything will be weighed and they'll always come in under 15 kilos. But also there's a carry limit for the porters as well, of 15 kilos per bag. Now, just for the interest of their health and their longevity and stuff like that, we do say, if you are going to cheat, don't cheat too much, because remember that your porter can only carry 15 kilos.
Yeah.
But I know some people do sometimes struggle to get it to 15 kilos, but I think that's overpacking. You're taking too much, 5 fleeces and stuff like that. You honestly don't need it. You're only in the mountains for 11 days. There's no point thinking like, I'm going to bring 3 fleeces because that way I've got 2 clean ones, because you're going to be putting them on an unclean body. So
yeah, exactly. It becomes your suit after a while, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, really good questions coming through now, guys. I know Helen. Here we go. Let's have a little look. Let's bring Helen's question in here. She's asked about a little bum bag for easy access for snacks. Yeah, it's quite funny you say that, wasn't it? Was it Roche on Killy, Dave, who carried? It wasn't necessarily a little bum bag, but it was groups of bags of sweets, didn't she? Like for each day. Very organised. Yeah,
she's the most organised person I've ever met. Lovely person, Roche, but she's so fun. But she's like, she'll tell you she's not accident prone, but she's the most accident prone person I've ever met.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Killy.
She did. But yeah, I digress. No, I actually used one on my first trip to base camp. I bought a low alpine one.
Okay.
So I could stow my GoPro in there mainly. But to be honest, it just started to annoy me. I just didn't use it. But it
feels like it get in the way a bit. Personally.
Yeah, I had it, and I just felt like I was too cumbersome.
Yeah.
And it's no problem at all just to put your GoPro in like the stuff part of your rucksack and just say to someone, "Oh, can you grab my camera?" Yeah.
But plus, if you stop as well, Dave, isn't it? Like if you have to stop to do it, it slows you down as well.
Yeah.
Like it's great to have easy access, but there's no rush on these trips. The slower the better. So Helen, just even if you put it in the side pocket, like Dave said, then just get someone else to grab it for you.
Yeah. But also most bags, like this one, as you can see, has a zip.
Yeah, nice.
It fits on your hip, and you'll easily stick a pack of Haribo in there or something. But if you are going to do one, and some people do, it might work for you. Try the low alpine bum bags. They do them. They're really good. Yeah,
definitely. Got some really good questions here, and great to see so many people on as well. So yeah, loving the questions coming through, guys. Right, as we go down, Anthony again has asked how heavy the duffel bags are. They're very technical weight without anything. I mean, this has actually got some in. It's barely. It's not even like a kilo. They're super white. Super light.
They're super black.
Yeah, but they're very light. Very light. I'd have to get an actual physical weight for it, but once you do put everything that you need, you should be able to get under the 15 kgs. Obviously, take what you need. I mean, I've taken a big bag before, bigger than that. It's like 120 liters, and mine was about 22 kgs.
Yeah,
quite a lot of equipment. They do sometimes charge you. It depends, and this is what happens with Nepal. Unfortunately, the fact is that sometimes you'll get away with it, and sometimes you won't. I've got away with it before. I know other people have. Having heavier packs, you might pay. It's round about £1 a kilo, which is nothing really, if you're taking excess baggage on a flight. But sometimes your bag won't be allowed on the plane, which then causes all the different types of issues then in terms of your bag catching up with you, especially if there's delays. We've known people go 2 or 3 days without their equipment.
Yeah, well,
so, it's good to get it under the weight so it stops that from happening.
Exactly, yeah. They'll just offload it. It happened to one of our customers a while back.
Yeah.
On the return flight. And yeah, basically you arrive and you can't find your bag, and then a couple of phone calls are made and you realize it was offloaded. One thing that I think Julie's kind of asked, and Graham has also asked, no, a different question, but I'll come back to that one.
Graham?
Yeah, and Vasilios, I think his name is. Anyway, yeah, so basically, Graham's one, what did he ask? Waterproof liner required?
Yes.
Definitely, 100%. You'll get all 4 seasons on an EBC trek and on a Killy trek. Basically, just consider it like UK hiking. You'll get wet, dry, hot, and cold, and snow and not snow.
Yeah.
So you definitely need a liner. If your bag doesn't come with one, you can usually buy them quite cheaply. You don't need to get anything special, just as long as it's covered. You'll definitely need that, and also you will need a rain cover around yourself, so like a poncho or jacket or something.
Yeah, I got to see this. Brian's on here. Hey, Brian. I hope you're okay, mate. Brian reached Everest Base Camp in March, and he has a good point. Like when you're thinking about what you pack in these bags, especially in while we're talking about Nepal, you can leave a rucksack or a bag, suitcase, whatever, at the hotel. It's the same on all of our trips. While you're going out in the mountains, like in Moshi at the base of Kilimanjaro, you can leave your bag there, nice clean set of clothes. So when you come down off the mountain or you come down off, Everest Base Camp, some clean clothes to put on, because no doubt you'll need it.
Yeah, it follows on from Julie's question: is the duffel bag for main luggage instead of a suitcase? Yeah. So this is a little bit different depending on where you're going. So if you're going to Nepal, you can bring a suitcase, and just like you normally would on any other sort of abroad flight. And then when you arrive in Nepal, we'll give you your EverTrek duffel bag.
Yeah.
You transfer all the main bulk of your equipment into the duffel bag, and that's the bag your port will carry. And you carry your day pack with just your day-to-day essentials in it. If you're going to Kilimanjaro, Machu Picchu, Morocco, it can be advisable to get your own duffel bag, because we haven't got the facility as of yet to provide those in country for you. They will happen, but just not as of yet. So what will happen there is you either bring your own duffel bag with everything in it. When you get to the hotel, you can take stuff out, and that can be safely stored in the hotel. We can find like a bag or something for you to put it in. Or you can still use a suitcase, and you can rent a duffel bag when you get there for like $1 a day or something like that.
Yeah, it's super cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, super cheap.
It just, I mean, especially on some of these trips, there's quite dirty, dusty. If you're a bit, if you want to keep your bag in good condition, then just use ours.
Yeah.
Because they will get battered and thrown about a bit. Because of the types of areas you're going at, they will get dirty, and especially abrasion on the floor. When they get put down, naturally going to be put on dusty and rocky ground. So we just use our bags or the higher bags if you're in Tanzania or South America. But yeah, some great stuff. I got to be honest, I love this. I know earlier on we were talking about Kate, and so we obviously dropped in Kent and Cool there, and some will have their lippy and mascara. Dave, I know you regularly carry your lippy with you, don't you?
Yeah, always. Yeah, always. The longer my hair gets, the more and more likely I'm thinking of switching careers and. But yeah.
So Doug, we call him Spud. He's a good friend of ours. He reached Kilimanjaro with us back in the end of Feb, and has done Everest Base Camp before, and he loves the mountains. So he's always a guy to listen to if you're talking about what to take on these trips. And like we said there, he's got an Osprey Talon, which is similar to what Dave's got, and he's also got the slightly larger version as well. So I think if you he's obviously taken them on Kili or Everest. So whilst you're on the subject of bags, you won't go far wrong if you stick to those exact bags.
They're by far the most popular bag you'll see on the hill. Shane Ryan, is it worth bringing a Camelback? Yeah, 100%. I don't go trekking without it, even in the UK. So either use the Camelback brand, or other brands do it as well. Like I use an Osprey hydraulics one that fits really good into the Osprey bag.
Yeah.
And 100%, that's the best way to drink water on any trail. The one thing I do say is that because of the amount that we have to drink when we're trekking at altitude, like a minimum 3 to 4 liters a day. You know, depending on how much you sweat. I'll aim for 5 because I sweat loads. It really does help to get like some of those like Robinson squirty bottles of squash, you know, and like put a few blasts in. And then at the end of the trek, I'll have some electrolyte tablets just to flavor the water, but also replace the lost salt that I've lost throughout the day's trekking.
Yeah.
Yeah, big important. I mean, any sort of hack that you can get to keep yourself hydrated is always going to be useful.
Nice. No, some really good questions here, guys. I know we had a few at the beginning. Let's have a little look. I think it was, yeah. I mean, whilst we're on the subject of it, I know that in terms of favorite bags, also as well, good bags for a bad back. We did have one of our guys, James, who came with us to Killy, and we've seen this a couple of times. Osprey make these ones. They're called anti-gravity. So if you are someone that suffers with like a bad lower back or maybe even issues with your knees, getting a decent bag that almost like wraps around you and literally it feels like you're not, you haven't got a bag on. Then Osprey do make these ones, and they're called anti-gravity mesh on the back. So it literally just rides off your hips. It's very handy. I know James, who had who's got issues with his body, and you won't mind me saying, you know, he's at a slightly mature level, you know, with his age. So he wanted one that was like really comfortable. He did go into a shop, I believe we might have been on the way up to Scotland because we did back in the winter because we managed to go and do the Lara Gru, which I'm really missing right now. But he did have a bag and he tried it on, and it was yeah. So if you do have issues with your back, have a look at the anti-gravity sort of bags out there. Osprey make them. If you just Google it, it'll come up with a few different versions.
Yeah.
It's great questions, isn't it? I know it's always whenever we have a subject and we're talking about, there's always other different things that come in, aren't there, Dave?
Yeah.
But this is actually really good because you've all stuck to just bags today.
Yeah, it is remarkable.
I know, it's great, isn't it? It's great.
Do you have a favorite bag? That's come in from Lauren on the phones.
Lauren on the phones.
Favorite bag? It's hard to say because I've got, to be honest, probably there are aspects that I like about each of these bags.
Yeah.
Probably the Osprey is the best all-rounder in terms of everything that it does. But I do like this low alpine Air Zone Z Duo 30 litre at the moment. I really like that.
You gonna wear that for your next trip?
Yeah, wearing that. Yeah, so that'll be Toubkal in November.
Toubkal November and base camp in April.
Yeah, so this will be Toubkal in November. Will be this one. Yeah, the 30 litre Z Duo. Depending on how I get on with that, I might go back to base camp and bring this. This is yeah, my Killy bag, so I know that one's good. But
weird. You said favourite then, and you're right actually, because out of all the makes, Low Alpine and an Osprey are the two. They're the biggies, aren't they? I know you've got ones like Deuter, I think is how you say it.
Yeah, I've got Deuter. Yeah, they're good. They're really good, really good.
I'm still torn. You know, I mean, look, whichever one you take here will work ultimately, because you'll be enjoying yourself so much as long as it doesn't really hurt your back. If you had a Low Alpine or an Osprey, and you know, as long as you don't pack it too heavy, you're going to be fine. But for me, I've used this on Killy, and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but I'm going to go for my Low Alpine.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go for this one because it's absolutely battered, and it's been I think it's done base camp like 4 times now. But this has been, and this is the slightly larger version. This is actually 45 to 55. I'm putting it into shot. It is, as you can see, it's got a lot of experience there. That's a bit of Brecon Beacons there, that is. You know, and Low Alpine for me, I think because that one is a bit more of an all-rounder. Now, if you're on some of our trips and you're thinking of climbing Island Peak, maybe we are due to be launching very soon. And I can't wait to launch it, Dave. It's taken a while, but Aconcagua, or if you're taking on something in winter, the reason I like that bigger bag is that you can carry your ice axe and your crampons in there. Yeah. And the loops actually are specifically made for it. So that's why that's my bag, is because I do love the winter conditions. And, you know, for me, if I'm taking on Island Peak, Mera Peak, you know, if you're going even Mount Toubkal during winter, and you might have to put some crampons on, then that's why I prefer the bigger bag. Just it gives me a bit more flexibility. That's just personal decision. If you're doing Killy, if you're doing base camp, if you're doing maybe some of the high passes or Gokyo Valley, then I think a 25 to 35 litre is all you're going to need.
Yeah, exactly. John has come in and said that free bags are his favourite type. Found a friend with a bag they don't want.
Is that why you guys are best friends, then?
Yeah, well, he said his 2 Berghouses were acquired that way, but I think he's forgetting about the Camelback branded rucksack that I gave him that he used in base camp. Yeah, and also John had this weird bag. Like, I think it was either me or my dad had it, like, in the garage. And the only thing I remember about it, I don't remember the make or anything, but I remember the logo was like bull horns or something like that. And it was like threadbare. It was the worst bag ever. Yeah, did all right. And the Aldi one. Yeah, I bought a bag from Aldi, like a red cycling bag.
Okay.
And it was like £8, maybe 12 quid. And I think John's been using that for years. The red Aldi bag is like famous.
You guys got too many bags, man. But John has actually a really good point here. And I know we've been talking about bags, but it's sort of
different.
But perfect. I mean, if you're going on a high altitude trek, and at the moment, I know the gyms are closed, but I know in England that you can get out and about now. In Wales, there's still a bit more restrictions, as well as Scotland. But if you can get out, pack on your back and make it heavier, almost twice as heavy, we usually say, to how you would use it on a trek. So you mentioned there, John, really good point. Add another 10 kgs. Yeah, awesome. Why not? Put some strength in those legs, and it'll pay dividends when you're out on a trip. I think that's a great point. What's John going on about now?
No, basically, remember I said about the different John, not you, John Newman. This is
John, yes,
the Great Bald Yeti. No, he's on about. Remember I said that it was a green cow head was the logo, right? If anyone knows the brand of rucksack that would have a green cow head, let me know, because I've been dying to know for years. But also, it's still showing, he's referring to the red Aldi bag.
Very good challenge. Right. Well, look. I mean, we're coming towards the end of the live. I know we mentioned.
I think you've got something to talk about, haven't you, Ant?
We have got something to talk about. Yes, but I mean, thanks for all your questions. Anyway, first of all, some great questions around bags there. If we haven't answered your questions, we will sort of scroll through, and don't forget we are here. Just pop us a little email, info@evertrek.co.uk. But yes, so we thought we'd do it today, even though it's kind of at the end of the month. But basically, if you followed us for a while now, you would know that we do some competitions. We've done 5, I believe, to Everest Base Camp. We've also done some with some day trips here and there, like Machu Picchu. But this one, we thought it would be a little bit different. So from today, after the live now, we'll be posting some things that we're actually doing 2 free places to Kilimanjaro. Obviously not right now, because we can't travel at the moment, but we're actually 2 places on a Kilimanjaro trip for 2021 or 2022. So if you are interested in that, get yourself in. If you've seen what we do in competitions, we like to make a bit of a hoo-ha around it. So we'll be doing a little live on the end of the month, on the 30th of June, which I believe is 28 days later. So it's nothing to do with zombies, but it basically, get yourself in. It's a fantastic trip. We were lucky to go on it in February, and we've got a great team out in Tanzania who've been doing it for a very long time. I think 34 years. The guides we use, one of our guides, we can talk about here, is called Yesi. He's done Kilimanjaro summit over 400 times. So go in with someone like that. It's clear they know exactly how to take care of you, how to guide you, and how to have an awesome time. So yeah, if you do win, I say we select one winner, and then that person then can choose a friend, and then we'll be running that all throughout the entirety of June. So yeah, look out for a little bit more information around that, and how to enter into that competition.
Yeah,
we'll be putting the live, we'll be putting the actual link to register for that on the Facebook page and in the group. But if you're listening, if you actually got your phone out now, and you just text Kili, so KILI, to 60777, you'll be able to register for free to the competition. There might be, obviously, because you're texting, might be sort of charges depending on who you're with on contract or pay as you go. but it's free to enter.
Yeah, I
If
can guarantee that the charge will be less than the cost of a Killy trip, though, right?
Yeah. I can guarantee it will be cheaper than that, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
But get yourself involved. Yeah, the competitions are always great, and if you are lucky to win, one of our competition prizes, then we know we're going to have an awesome time. Fantastic trip out there. Dave's already entering.
Yeah, so
you're not allowed. Here we go. Social Yetis. She's put it in. Great stuff. She's got it there. So Lauren has entered the so Killy to 60777, or you actually just follow the little link there we popped in the comments. Thanks, Lauren, for chucking that up. And any questions, as I said, we'll obviously jump back on and basically respond to your comments as we go. But cheers, Dave. It's been
mate. It's been good. Shane. Yes, we give you a free duffel bag in Kathmandu when you get to take it home with you.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he just literally put it on then, and I thought,
not enough. He wants to enter already.
Yeah, hang on. Let's go back to the beginning and bags. So we're gonna. No, it's been great to catch up with everybody. We'll keep doing these, I think, because we enjoy them. You guys enjoy them. I get to talk about kit. Everyone else is fed up of hearing about it. Appreciative audience is always good.
Yeah, it's always fantastic. I mean, we initially started these Q&A sessions just during lockdown, but we realized that there's obviously a lot of engagement, and we hope it's helpful. We've had some feedback that people have loved it, so we're going to continue to do it even as we come out of lockdown and things get back to a little bit of normality. We're going to do these every Tuesday. So catch us next week. We'll be discussing something different to bags. So I hope that's answered all your questions, and we'll catch up with you soon.
One thing we should say quickly before we go,
okay,
now on YouTube. So Shane, if you are dipping in and out, and any of you guys have missed anything, or if Welsh accents are difficult to understand, head over to YouTube, where I believe they're subtitled. And is that right? Are they subtitled?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be able to hear that really good. Anyway, okay. The last.
This is bye for now.
Yeah. There you go. All the best.
See you next week.
Bye.